Hi, I'm Kim Wilson.
And I'm Natasha Marchewka.
And this is Speechless. 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 Welcome to our behind-the-scenes take on real life in VO, where we share our stories, our resources, and our unsolicited opinions. And boy, do we have an opinion today.
Well, we're excited.
Oh my God.
So excited to introduce everyone to Andy Roth. Some of you know, some of you don't.
East Coast represent.
Andy is our 9th coach in our series of 9 coaches. Well, we're especially excited to have him because, well, he's fun and exciting, but also because he came up with the branding for our show inadvertently, where we say, fuck it, be awesome now, we've got shit to do. He was coaching us and said that phrase. We just thought it was the greatest thing ever.
I think we got in our own way and he was just like, fuck it. We got shit to do. Just be awesome now. Like it came out like that way. We were like, okay, we will.
So without further ado, let me just give you a short bio. Because he's more of a casting director than he is a coach, but he has been our coach. And so we wanted to share him. He's so amazing. He's just so amazing. So Andy is one of New York's busiest casting directors, the career that has spanned over 2 decades as the in-house booth director for Cunningham, Escott, Slevin, and Doherty, CESD, very well-known agency. He performed casting for over 1,000 animation, commercial, television, film, and video game projects.
Including Pokemon.
Right. And he's been working with many of the biggest advertising agencies, casting houses, and production companies in the world, where he's cast for such companies as Calvin Klein, Geico, Fenway Park, Kraft, and many more. Twice, he's been voted Best Voiceover Teacher in New York.
And he's got 2 Telly Awards.
Okay. And his teaching resume boasts several, I'm just going by script here.
Okay.
His teaching resume boasts several of the Hollywood Reporter's top-rated college acting programs, including NYU, Rutgers, and Syracuse. So here we go. Listen to this.
Here we go. But before we do.
Oh, right. We want you to click to subscribe. And let me tell you why. Because you don't want to miss an episode. So if you click to subscribe and then click the bell to be notified when a new episode comes out, you'll know when it appears and when we've got something new. Is that what you're going to say, Kim?
I was going to say that, but I was also going to say, go to our website, sign up for our newsletter. It's once a week on Monday. It gives you all the show notes, so you don't have to make any notes. It gives you all the resources right there. And best of all, it has the recipes for cocktails. No, it does. It does.
It does.
But the most
That's the only place you can get
is you have our resources. We figured we put them in a newsletter to you, and they're clean and clear, and you'll be very happy you did.
They're not explicit. They're the clean version.
What's the address? Give them the address.
Speechlessvo.com.
Thank you.
Here's to the show.
Hey, how are you?
Yay!
How's it going?
We're so excited to see you.
So good to see you too. Hold on, I'm changing my background.
I was gonna say,
I want the Wookiee. I want the moving.
No, I like this one. We're so excited to see you.
Oh my God.
Ooh, how are you both doing?
We're doing great. But if you had a fan club, we'd be co-presidents. I just want you to know that. We are huge fans. And not only
me too for you.
Oh, we like you even more.
It's been too long.
Yeah, we have to tell you.
Yes, something important. I forgot.
Yeah.
You are the whole inspiration behind our whole branding.
I'm flattered. That's cool.
You didn't know?
You didn't know?
No, I didn't know.
This is what we say at the end of every show. You ready, Kim?
No. Oh, okay.
Together.
Fuck
it. Let's be awesome now. We've got
Because
shit to do.
We actually got a little. We also got a little
Great.
sticker
And a t-shirt
and
that
a
has it
t-shirt.
on there.
Great. I love it.
Because that's your direct quote, right?
Be awesome now. We got shit to do.
Fuck it, be
Yes.
awesome now. We got shit
Yep.
to do. That's an
Mhm.
actual quote from you, from our class. And we were like, texting each other during class, like, I love it. I love it too.
Well, it's a great
yours.
direction. Like,
it is yours.
be great now. Fuck it. We got
Yeah,
be
right.
great now. You got shit to do. Just do it right now. So
No-
we love you for it. And all these months,
Oh.
this is going to be the 32nd episode, I think. Yeah, 32nd episode.
Very
We've been
cool.
doing it since middle of 2001 and wondering, is Andy going to sue us because we're using his quote?
Never. It is yours. It is yours. And I see your recording. I'm saying it right now on camera. On tape.
Hey, you know, Andy, when we asked you to join us, we asked you to bring a beverage. So my money is on bourbon, but what did
Whiskey.
you bring?
You
A
are
whiskey?
close. I actually took a slightly different turn today. This is a gin.
Oh, very different turn.
Brand. What's the brand? What's the brand?
It is from the Empire Spirits Project, and they only make 3 different flavors, and it is great. They do a really, really amazing gin. I'm not a mixed drink guy. Like,
Okay.
you know, if I go to a party and there's a mixed drink or something, sure, you know, I'll have some, but I never, and I have nothing against it. I mean, I love it. It's great, but I never say like, I really want an old fashioned, or I really want, you know,
Margarita.
rum and Coke, or I really want a margarita. I would rather have a tequila or a rum or a whiskey or a gin that I can just sip. If it's not a great gin, I'll have some tonic with it, of course. But I'm all about the sippable.
You're kind of badass.
Yeah, you are.
And I also think a purist. You're a purist, huh?
I am a purist. I don't know if I'm a badass. I think a badass would drink the cheap stuff unmixed.
Oh. You're a purist.
Yeah, if it, you know, I'm not on board if it tastes like drain cleaner, but they do 3 of them. This one is called their American Beauty Gin, and it's rose, ginger. I mean, it's juniper, of course, because it's gin, but it's rose, ginger, and cinnamon, I believe. And it is super smooth. I do sometimes put an ice cube in it, which is what I did today. And they have a smoked gin, and they have like a saffron.
I'm so into that. Yeah.
We're trying.
Yeah. Yes.
Kim, what?
Empire Spirits.
Empire
Empire Spirits. I have a mixed drink. I tried to go because of St. Patty's Day. I tried to go green, and it turned out to be the grossest looking Girl Scout from the 70s drink.
That is.
It's like from the 50s.
Awesome. That looks like a milkshake.
It is. Yeah. Well, it's called a peppermint patty, so it's got a lot of like, you know, creme de menthe and tequila and
makes sense.
Chocolate bitters, and I'm gonna sip it.
Yeah.
So I'll let you know.
Cheers.
So,
can we, you know?
Cheers. So because we're recording on St. Patrick's Day, I went with the Irish theme as well. I've got Bailey's and coffee. Yes.
Yeah, nice. Cheers to us.
I'm also a fan. Cheers.
Cheers. So before you came on the air, we shared your bio with everyone, which is mind-boggling. But we want to know, for our first question, what did you do before you started coaching VO?
You mean in my life before?
I'm going to say it's probably a really big question, but
well, I was born
right
at the time during the whole walking, speaking thing.
Right.
Some good stuff, some bad stuff. Do you mean before my voiceover life, or?
Yeah.
Well, I know you're
like, how did you get to the voiceover world? Was it a hard left or was it a smooth?
Right. It's a good question.
I kind of feel like I've been heading this direction kind of all my life.
Cool.
Not every place, like school, supported it, or, you know, some of the family and friends involved, not everybody supported it. But I feel like I was always kind of headed this way. There were some detours I took in college, and just like, you know, pre-med. I was pre-med for a while. I was, you know,
right.
Yeah, it didn't take.
It was that organic
God.
chemistry.
Yeah.
Thank
Goddamn.
God.
Yeah.
I know, right?
It's you know, this, I was interested in the science of it, but not necessarily everything that went along with it. And
Sure.
I'm actually really happy with that decision. But you know, but you know, it always led me back this way. So I didn't know voiceover was a thing to do, and especially specifically one of the realms of casting you can make a living in. But I got out of college. I was an English teacher at a high school for a little while. Then I moved on and I got a job at Samuel French, helping companies find plays and license plays to do. And then I had met somebody who was a great actor, whose wife was a casting director at CBS, head of daytime casting. And they connected me with an agency that was called CED at the time. Now it's called CESD. And I became an assistant there in the voiceover department. And that's really where I learned what voiceover is about.
Yeah.
And I loved it. It is the friendliest branch of this business.
Yes.
You get the best toys. You get all the best toys. So and I drifted that way, and I just really connected with the people in the world, and I learned what a vast thing it was, and it's actually gotten more vast even since I got into it. And yeah, that was my world. Then I became their in-house booth director. So I maintained and upgraded all the stuff, the equipment for the booth. I directed all the most of the castings, on camera and voiceover. Of course, it was 90% voiceover. So yeah, and that was my path.
One thing that you had said in the workshop that I'm taking a hard left, sorry. One thing that you had said in the workshop that Natasha and I had taken with you, it really resonated with me. And I know it's a hard left, and we didn't ask you this before, but can you talk a little bit about your philosophy on auditioning? I just thought it was just so nice. Like, just how you talked about it's not a test. We always look at it as a test. It's not a test.
Let him explain.
and
no, please, you're doing a better job. My experience in this world, it's been about 27 years that I've been in the casting world now, in the voiceover world especially, and most of that has been in the casting world. In my experience, I mean, an audition is not really a test. If somebody's asked you to audition, if you've been invited to audition, even if it's a second party thing, like I call an agent and I tell them what I want, an agent reaches out to you, even if I don't know you personally. If somebody has asked you to audition for something, it's because there's information in place that tells them that not only are you right for it, you know, with genetics, with your voice quality and things like that fit, with your attitude, with your personality, with your quirks that you may not even know that you have, with your sense of humor or your warmth, or whatever the quality is. There's a whole lot of stuff in place that has told somebody that you can do a great job on this. Now, it's not a guarantee you will, but somebody who knows more about the project and the relationships than you knows that you fit the specs, knows that you will do a great job, knows that you will gel with the other people that are going to be in the room with you. You may not even know them. You often won't. But the people inviting you feel confident that you'll do it. So if you're called in, it's not a test. And so often I've seen auditioning taught as if it's a test. You've got to find hidden stuff. You've got to, you know, that doesn't mean don't make your own choices. By all means, make your own choices and commit to them and know that they're right. But it doesn't mean that we have a whole list of criteria that we're not telling you that you have to meet. That doesn't exist. First of all, it's a really bad business model. You know, I have to deliver a bunch of people that are great and can deliver the job to somebody who wants to hire somebody to do that. Making it harder for the people I know that are right for it to do that really is ultimately only going to make me look bad.
Right.
So it's not a test at all. It's us working together. And in this business, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. And an audition can't guarantee a job. I mean, there's no audition, very few maybe, that will guarantee a job. But everyone can guarantee that somebody knows you better, that somebody knows a little bit more about your personality, that hears your quirks, gets a vibe of how you are to work with, even if you're auditioning at home and we weren't even necessarily working together. What I get delivered is an indication to what you bring to the table, and it lets me know you better. That doesn't guarantee jobs necessarily, because that's often a decision made by somebody else in some other room, but it does guarantee the dynamics that bring auditions to you, that bring opportunities to you. It guarantees there's a certain kind of conversation that happens about you that you don't even know.
Yeah.
Because if somebody has a problem with you, they're not going to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
They will tell other people.
That's why we don't hear about our show. We don't know who doesn't like it.
It's great. It's great.
Everybody loves the show. Yeah, everyone loves the show.
From your lips to God's ears.
Mm-hmm. I'm also going to say the positive things. There are more positive conversations about people. Any sort of negative, in my experience, negative conversations have to be prompted. Somebody asks for your opinion. It's really rare in this business that somebody would get on the line and go, oh, I just had a terrible experience with so-and-so. Mm-hmm. Casting people, producers, directors tend to not do that. First of all, it's just a bad business move. But we don't do that. If we're doing it, I'm not privy to it. But positive conversations do happen without prompting. There are a lot of, oh my God, I worked with somebody who was so awesome. This person is great. There's a lot of give and take. I'm looking for somebody new. Who's this? Does anybody have any ideas? I've worked on shows where I actually got an email once from a colleague who had just worked with somebody in a class, and she's a director of a really, really popular series. And she emailed me, and the heading was, "You must cast this person."
Oh,
yeah. And I read him right away. It was a little while before he booked a job for me, but he was great. I mean, his audition was great. So positive conversations tend to happen because they want to happen. Negative conversations tend to be prompted. But an audition still is an opportunity to encourage the positive conversation.
Right. Love it. This is a great segue because actually we've been talking positively behind your back about how we want to also have a casting series. And so we will do that, and we will invite you back if you don't mind and ask you some casting questions. But moving to your coaching, one of the things I'm fascinated about is that you teach or have taught voiceover at NYU. So the question is, what's your coaching process like in that situation or otherwise?
The way that I handle things, I very much try to approach things as how are you going to use this audition to get more auditions? Everybody in a class, of course, gives you scripts that you're not really auditioning for, which is great. I mean, those are the scripts that are out there, and that's what you work with. I find that the best, and it's not even an Andy secret sauce necessarily. There are other people that do this. I have a lot of colleagues that I respect incredibly that I recommend as teachers. And I find that most of us feel the same way. It's how do you use this script to program into somebody's brain and heart what to do with the other script in the other audition when you have very little time with somebody else who may or may not be in a good mood, in another environment where you don't know the criteria. I mean, sometimes you'll give the best audition in the world, but the job's going to go to somebody's cousin because that's just how it is. So how do you use this script to instill what you bring as an actor? And
love it.
I find that some people, their focus is not wrong. It's sort of in a similar vein, but I find that a lot of people who are auditioning, what they run into is this internal conflict of, how do I show you everything I can do as an actor?
Yeah.
And they don't realize, I don't care about everything you can do as an actor. I care about this thing on this script. I do care about what you do as an employee on a job in a team. So I just need to know enough about you to know that you fit this job, and enough about your personality to say, you will interface well with others. You know the drill, you know how to talk to people, how not to talk to people. You're going to be on time, which is a huge thing. That's really, you know, how do we know you as a human? Because at the end of the day, I can't know everything that I'm ever going to cast, and you can't know everything you're ever going to do. You can just know how to exist in this business environment with the other people to make a cohesive, creative product at the end of the day as part of the creative team. So that's how I approach things.
And how like a human connects to another human with a common goal of delivering.
Yeah, but how do you behave as a professional? I feel like
well, that too, right?
Yeah.
How do you operate?
Andy, we took your class through the actingandvoicestudios.com plethora of courses. And I know you're there sometimes, you're not there always. And I do know you have a class coming up through something else. Well, no, is it in May? I didn't see anything on Acting and Voice Studios. I saw something in the month of March. I don't want to confuse our viewers with the date and stuff, but they're going to miss the boat when they see this show. So how access you as a teacher?
How do we look for you specifically?
Well, Google knows me.
And he sends smoke signals.
Google tends to keep pretty good track of my schedule. I do have a class, a 5-week class coming up in May. I've got some at a place called One-on-One. I've got some
One-on-One.
Yeah. Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to?
Yeah, please. We're sharing it.
I do work with Acting and Voice Studios. You could check their schedule because we come up with things. I do some classes with a place called The Voice Shop that are kind of one evening maximizing audition classes. Speaking of longer term training programs, Terry Knickerbocker has a long program, which is terrific. There's some amazing people that have come out of it. I don't have anything coming up with them because we just finished one and theirs is based on their
curriculum.
Their curriculum, their calendar. I'm sure I will. You know,
so basically people just have to keep their eye out for Andy Roth in order to.
That's ANDY ROTH.
It's a little. It's probably a little creepy how easy I am to find. I'd probably be a little more concerned with that than I am. But...
okay, well, I don't know about that because it was. I haven't seen you in a year, and you're kind of hard to pin down. So grateful that you showed up today with your beverage and your wonderful personality.
Of course, I would have been here without the beverage.
And then I would have been.
This is the beverage.
Then I would have been sad.
Okay.
Well, it makes it better, no doubt. But
it's just more festive.
You are the.
We have a silly question, and that is about embarrassing moment, most memorable moment. Let us into your world a little bit with some interesting story.
Most memorable moment. I kind of feel if it doesn't jump right to the forefront, how memorable is it really?
I got nothing.
Embarrassing moment. I don't know. Probably. I don't know that saying it on a podcast is going to make it less embarrassing. I have an awful lot of super proud moments.
Yes, tell us. We'd love to hear one.
I love what the beauty of being able to teach and be in the business and direct and cast is I really, really get to appreciate when a student becomes a colleague. When it's sort of, like, what is the quote? I feel now we can talk as friends, Marvin Hamlish. I really like that. When I'm calling somebody in, when they booked a show, maybe that I'm directing or something like that, and we're in the booth and I'm directing and they're acting and we just click. That, because that's my end game. It's not, it's not that you always have to work with me, but knowing that you're working now and maybe you're still at your classes, maybe you're not, maybe you have other things going on, but knowing now that you're making at least a part of your living in this business, that feels good to me. That's not the only reason that I do it, of course, but it's these rewarding moments that come up.
Really cool.
or even when I recommend somebody, or I say, who you should talk to about this thing, this person teaches a class, you should talk to them. Or when I recommend somebody to somebody else, those are really the best moments. I've had a lot of aha moments when I started in this business. Sometimes I think back. There's a guy who was in one of my early classes, who's doing really, really well. He's really great at this. He's really terrific. And he probably took my second or third class that I started teaching. And this had to be 21, 22 years ago, something like that. And every once in a while, like, he'll come in and I'll hear his read and it's great. And I'll be, well, you didn't learn that from me. I've been doing this so long that I think there are so many aha moments that have made me kind of shift from, I have information that you need to know, to I have to be a hard part of the hive mind and be able to absorb a person as much as I want them to absorb what I'm saying. And it took me a while to be okay with not always being right.
Yeah.
Reconfiguring. So this might have been right for them, but it's not right for you. Or maybe it turns out this is not right for anybody and I need to reconfigure it.
Right.
So I would say, as far as memorable moments, I can't remember a moment specifically, but I do know that it happens in almost every class. And when it happens, I'm like, duh, why did it take me 21 years to figure that out?
Right.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that would be, I guess, the best answer I can give you. That being said, if there is anything horribly embarrassing, I will, I'll email you later, or I can send you a little video. I remember when.
Well, this is our series of coaches, and we're doing 9 coaches in that series, and you're the 9th, and we couldn't be happier to cap it off with you.
I'm lucky I made it.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't know if you're gonna get back to us, so the universe provided. So thank you for that, and we do want to know more insight about your casting. See, the benefit about working with you is that you are so entrenched in casting that who better to coach. Right. And we have had some coaches as well that are also casting directors, and that's such a great coach to have, is people that know what's happening right now. So we will tap into your knowledge about current casting trends and the like, if you can squeeze us in somewhere later this year.
Of course.
Yay.
I didn't think it took me very long to get back.
It didn't. She didn't mean it that way. It was because we were hemming and hawing over like when
were we? I thought I emailed him. Okay.
He didn't. Okay. We didn't email him, and we were hemming and hawing in the beginning. Like, should we do it? Will you think it'd be mad that we used his branding? Like that we used his branding?
You know what? If I say it in public, it's for the public.
Okay.
And believe me, if there's something I don't want out there, it's not going to find its way into the class.
Okay.
Right.
We were like, should we ask? Should we tell him?
we even got T-shirts made. So
I am flattered.
Well, we are so grateful you're here today, and we are going to end the show here, and then and start recording, and then talk with you privately so we can have our private time with you. So thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'm coming at you from the Death Star, forward Death Star.
Speechless.